Hello everybody, Andrew Hutchings here, still not a licensed physician, still never giving medical advice. And this video is about how working out and your time in the gym is actually like meditation of sorts. It's not just about pushing really hard and moving the weight. Now, of course, that is undeniably important, um, but if you saw me in the gym, on top of taking a lot of rest between sets and just like walking slowly around, sometimes walking a bit faster. I mean, it depends on how much time I want to burn. I'll just walk real slow because I don't want to just do a ton of circles. But like if I decide to go get water, I'll walk quickly to get water. But you'll notice that as I'm walking, I'm also feeling my body, making sure everything's good, seeing if something's pulled a little bit. Um, Feeling the muscle contractions, feeling the pump, just feeling the muscle. Like if I'm doing bench, I'm walking around and I'm like this a lot of the time. It is not sounding good. I don't know if you can hear it, but lots of yeah. So I'm doing lots of just getting in touch with my body. And before I even do my first set, sometimes I'll even, not typically on the bench, but on some exercises, more so on back exercise. Say I'm going to do some rows. Before I even do any, like today, I wanted to work some muscles that I don't work as much, upper and mid, like inner part of the back versus just the wings. So I was standing and I was just going, because that's what I wanted to work on. The muscles that pull you like this. Partially because of posture and partially because I think they're underdeveloped, but that comes back to posture. Posture could use some work because those muscles are underdeveloped. So yeah, I spent a lot of time just with no weight. And I'll do the same. Like if I do normal rows, before I do them, oftentimes I'm just going like this, just getting the movement down, feeling the right muscle activation. Then you go in with the weight. Because bodybuilding is about how you use your body. Weightlifting is about how you move the weight. May seem like the same thing, but it's very different. Um, Weightlifting, it just no matter what you do, you just got to move that weight that certain amount of distance. That's what matters. Bodybuilding, you're trying to use your muscles. The weight is just a tool to use your muscles. You can bodybuild without weight, just squeezing your muscles. But when you add the weight in, it does it even better. So yeah, you should spend a lot of time just being in touch with your body. Um, Two main reasons are to get the best muscle activation and to make sure that you notice if something is like a little bit strained or pull, whatever it might be. If there's some sort of little issue, you want to be careful on your next set. And then if it becomes like a big enough issue, you go, you know what, I'm done for today. On to something else that's not going to mess with it. What you do not want to do is go, oh, but I'm feeling strong today. I think I can get the personal best. Just, you feel something, done. Off to something else. So yeah, you'll have plenty of time to do all this because you should take lots of rest between sets. If you're not taking enough rest, well, you're doing cardio properly instead of bodybuilding. Because if you're out of breath when you go to your next set, you're not going to perform at your best. Even if you're not out of breath, you may not have enough ATP. It takes time for it to go from the creatine to the ATP. and for the creatine to be rephosphorylated. Takes time for just the blood to increase. There's a lot of things that go on. You just want to make sure you take all the time you need, and during that time, it's a good idea to feel your body. So I hope this helps you out. I think a lot of people are not focused on their body when they're in the gym. They're listening to music, they're taking pre-workout. I mean, not that that's bad, but it's stuff just to, get, just lift the weight, lift the weight, when really it should be like, of course, like there's a time for just pushing hard, but you typically want to begin with just good, focusing on the contractions, then you up the weight, and then once you've already done all that, then you start going for your partial reps where you're just pushing and you're just trying to move the weight. Because sheer force on the muscle, even if it's not really moving the weight much, does stimulate muscle growth. So there's many ways to stimulate muscle growth. One is by getting like that real good contraction, and the other is you just put a ton of weight on there and make it hold it. I've got like 500 other videos, probably like 480, I don't know exactly. Scroll through them, lots of different topics, health, fitness, relationships, science. My website is andrewhutchings.org, where you can hire me for consultations, training, advice, consultations, plans, etc. Same thing with diet, supplements, and your supplements. But I cannot give you medical advice. But remember, it's not medical advice if I don't tell you to do it. It's just medical information. And my book on tendinitis is for sale. I recommend you buy it on Amazon. It is called A Systematic Guide to Defeating Tendinitis. Link in the description. And my Instagram is natural_true_fitness. Not because steroids are bad, but because I didn't use them. And I thought that was a good name at the time, and I was annoyed by the roided out fitness influencers, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make a natural bodybuilding account, and natural, so it made sense. The irony is that I'm a huge advocate of drugs. It sounds bad because there's a bad connotation to the word drugs, because most people don't think of their coffee as a drug, don't think of their aspirin as a drug. And they can be used. I don't think that it's the best idea just to use them to try to get big muscles, but you can use them to improve musculoskeletal health if needed. I think that's a very good reason to use them. Physique is not looking okay. Very cracking of the joints. It's weird because I'm retaining more water than usual, my gyno's flaring up, and my joints are dry, which makes no sense, because if my gyno's flaring up, it means that I have a higher ratio of estrogen to androgens than it doesn't need to be much higher for it. It's like if it just goes slightly different than usual, it flares up. If it goes slightly lower, it goes down. It's very sensitive. But you would think that if I'm having a gyno flare up, that I would have more lubricated joints and tendons. But in the last few days, my tendons have been extra stiff, and my gyno has been extra flared up. So who knows what's going on there. But arms are looking okay at this angle. I have not been working out arms that much. Last few days I've been trying to more, but in general nowadays I don't work them out that much, but I need to, because what's happening is what happened when I was younger, where I just work out the center of my body and then I end up having a huge center of my body and little arms. Not that my arms are little, just they're a little bit small compared to the center of my body. Apparently it's good for it to be over 10 minutes, so let's wait